what were your thoughts after? Have you seen the tape since the Tennessee State game? What are your thoughts
Sure.
after viewing the tape?
Well, I thought it was a great game. I thought both teams competed at a high level. Very physical game, highly emotional. I thought our guys really responded in the right way. Came to fight, and I was proud of our seniors for their response. I thought they really stepped up and did what seniors are supposed to do, and got us off to a good start there in league play.
Was the change in the starting lineup a one-game thing?
We'll see how practice goes this week. Really undecided. I know in the past we've usually started a lineup on game one, and it's been that way the whole year. I don't really think that it's that big of a deal, who starts the games. So we'll see how practice goes this week and see what's going to be best for us on Thursday night.
It's easy to say that three guys that scored 20 points won the game for you, but how did you guys do this with Terrell Miller saddled? He's been such a big part of the offense lately. You look at the stat line, he just wasn't on the court much against Tennessee
Right.
State.
Well, he got the early foul trouble there in the first half, and he had 2 fouls. We've played him quite a bit this year with 2 fouls in the first half. I just felt like we were right there in striking distance, and the game was so physical and so highly contested that I just didn't think we could afford to put him back out there in that first half and him get his 3rd foul. I thought Jalen Dupree really stepped up and played well. Finished some plays around the goal, gave us a physical presence along with Breon. I thought they both did a nice job at both ends of the floor. But the guard play, obviously from a scoring standpoint, they really carried the load. Jonathan, not so much in the first half, really struggled, 1 for 9. But then the second half, he was terrific, not only scoring the ball but also getting to the free throw line. I thought Bryce, came in and really shot the ball with a lot of confidence. And then DeMarcus was fantastic getting to the basket. And what that allowed him to do was, as he was so aggressive driving the ball, he gets to the free throw line 10 times and was able to step up and convert. But I thought the free throw line was huge too. I mean, it's the second game in a row we've gotten there over 40 times and shot 81%. So I thought our guys were really aggressive getting the ball to the basket.
We talked about how good, from a senior standpoint, DeMarcus and Bryce were in this game, but G, 5 points, 4 rebounds, but then surprisingly the calming presence after Jalen got the technical there. Maybe just elaborate on what G was able to bring to a game like that.
Well, I think defensively against a team like Tennessee State, he was a good matchup for a guy like a Jordan Reed. They've got big guards, very physical, strong players. I thought he was really good defensively, and it was just one shot, but we were down 59-51, struggling a little bit. DeMarcus made a nice play into the lane and kicked out. G knocked down a big 3. And I think you mentioned it, but just, seniors doing what you need your seniors to do, which is set the example, play under control, lead the team through some adversity. And I felt like all 3 stepped up and did that.
Jacksonville State's already picked up 2 road wins in the league, and now they get to go play at home for only the 2nd time this year.
Sure.
What's going to be your challenge to go in there and defeat them?
Well, I think they have great balance. Coach Harper's done a great job with their team. Last year, I thought those guards were really good last year. They just never could get healthy together. And this year they've been healthy. All 3 playing very well, talking about Drumright at the point, and then the 2 seniors in Tucker and Durham. Durham shooting the ball exceptionally well. Has made 47 threes at 55% from behind the arc. So they've got, between the 3 of them, over 100 made threes already this early in the season. They're leading the league in three-point percentage. And then you look at their front court with Cunningham and Giga, I believe is how you pronounce it. They've been terrific, both capable of double-double type performances. So I think their balance makes them difficult to guard. So we'll have to be very good at that end of the floor.
I'm sure you know Ray Harper a little bit from his time at Western. How much of his imprint has he made them contenders instantly at Jacksonville State?
Well, I think he's done a great job. The guards are playing well for him. They've been very consistent. And as I mentioned, I just think he's got the team very balanced. They have good inside, outside presence. They'll mix some defenses. But again, shooting the ball exceptionally well from the three-point line. They're winning the boards, and so they've done a nice job here in their first year.
The 4-game road trip, I know it's tough, but are you glad you get it over with before school starts back in the spring?
Yeah, we've talked about it. I mean, it's, you can dice it up a million different ways. At the end of the day, every team in the league is going to play 16 games. They're going to play 8 at home, 8 on the road. When they are, where they are, and all that doesn't matter. I mean, we just got to keep getting better as a team. Hopefully, I hope our guys felt what it's like on Saturday when you're all on the same page, when your chemistry's good, when you're all aligned in the same direction, competing and laying it on the line for each other, which I think they did on Saturday, and I think they got rewarded with a very good win over an outstanding Tennessee State team.
With what your guys did on Saturday against Tennessee State, is this the start of possibly forming an identity for your team?
Well, you hope so. I mean, we talked about coming back from Christmas. It's the start of the second season. Every team starts 0-0 with league play. There's no reason to rehash previous disappointments. None of that matters at this point. It's how do we become the best team we're capable of being. I think that starts with your seniors stepping up and doing what seniors need to do, which is lead your basketball team, be very consistent at both ends of the floor. I think continued growth from our young guys and our newcomers. I want them to continue to build their confidence. I think you saw a different side of Jalen Dupree on Saturday. I was very pleased with his aggressiveness and the toughness he displayed out on the floor. Thought he brought a lot of emotion to the team. And so it's going to be a process. But as we prepare to go here on the road against a very, very good Jacksonville State team, we need to understand why we were successful on Saturday and continue to build and get better in all areas.
Were there a lot of teaching moments from Saturday with how spirited the play was and with a couple of technical fouls?
Yeah, I think so. We went through all that on the film on Sunday, and again, that's why college basketball is the greatest. It's a highly emotional game. I thought both teams competed. Did it boil over a couple times? Probably so, but would much rather have it at that end of the spectrum than to be out there lifeless. So I thought our guys really competed, and they were dialed in to the scouting report. They were locked in on just not worried about who was getting shots, who was getting points, who was doing this, who was doing that. I thought the sole focus from every member of the team was, what can I do to help the team win? And that's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it needs to be every single day.
UT Martin and EIU both really struggled to shoot against Jacksonville State. I haven't seen a lot of the plays from those games. Was it more of Jacksonville's defensive presence, or was it more of those teams just really struggling from the field?
Well, I think the Tennessee Martin game, credit to Jacksonville State. They did a fantastic job attacking the UT Martin zone, and they were just really able to stretch out the lead, build that lead to about 20, and it put Martin in a situation where they were really trying to hit home runs to catch up quick and probably had to take some tough shots. But, no, I think, both teams, Jacksonville State, Eastern Illinois, it was just a defensive struggle. I thought both teams really defended well. And Jacksonville State was able to pull it out in the end.
Shot selection late in games has been iffy, I guess. How good was Jonathan facilitating the offense late against TSU?
Well, I thought he really controlled the whole second half of the game, and I thought our execution was very good. We shot well over 50%, I believe, there in the second half. We were 57% from the floor and 44% from three, and got to the free throw line a lot. And he was able to control the flow of the game. A lot of it started that we were able to get some stops, and that got us out in transition. And DeMarcus got some layups in transition where Jonathan was able to find them. But no, I think you're right. I mean, we talked about it. We've been in a lot of 4-minute games this year where you get to that last 4 minutes and it's tight. Against Illinois State, we made the plays. We've had some other games, Wright State, where obviously we did not. And I thought our guys responded well on Saturday, got good shots, did a really, really good job of getting to the free throw line. And not only to get there, but then to step up and convert and shoot 81%. I thought was a big key in our victory.
I know the crowd was really good, and they helped fan the flames whenever the team played well. They seemed to feed off that. Now you get the opposite. I noticed Jacksonville State had 871 in their home game against Dalton State. We've been down there when there's less than 500 people. How do they keep that mentality and aggressiveness when they don't have the crowd there to back them up?
You're right, Neil. It was an awesome crowd on Saturday, an 11 a.m. New Year's Eve game. I thought the fans were into the game from the opening tip, and it was a very emotional game on both sides. But we've talked about that already. That stuff, and it's awesome. It's awesome. But that stuff can't matter as far as that can't impact performance. That can't impact mindset. That can't impact how you approach the game. Anytime you get to play a college basketball game at this level, it's a great privilege, and you got to go out and lay it on the line, whether there's 100 people there or 15,000. So, I think our guys will be ready to go. We've got to continue to have a good week of practice, and then go down there and play against a team, Jacksonville State, who's really playing well right now.
We've talked about Jacksonville State a good bit. What about Tennessee Tech?
Sure. I think probably similar to our situation. Went into the Christmas break, needing a little bit of a reset, and they come back from the break and responded well. They go on the road and win at SIUE, so I'm sure they got some confidence from that. They enter the weekend 1-0 in league play, just like we do. I haven't watched a ton on them yet, but have seen several games, and I think it starts with Jugovic, preseason all-league player. Can really score the ball. He's a guy who's capable of going for 30 on any given night. Really good player and an outstanding three-point shooter with unlimited range. I think the other guard back from last year, Hakeem Rogers, has not shot the ball as well as he did last season, but we know he's more than capable of putting up big numbers. And then the third guard is actually one of Jonathan Stark's teammates from Tulane. That they both transferred out, but Kajan Mack is a really good player. Skilled player, can shoot it from three, but also very good off the dribble. So they've been a good rebounding team, especially on the offensive glass, and also have done a great job of forcing turnovers this year. So I think those will be key areas for us as we look towards Saturday night.
Coach, with the three guys that you've sent this year that were usual starters, what does it say about their personality with how they all three responded in each instance?
Well, I think it's sometimes made a bigger deal than it is. I mean, it's really not about who starts games. It's about who's a finisher. But it gives us an opportunity to talk with them and spend time one-on-one and just point out things on the film or go over different things, adjustments that they need to make so they can perform to the best of their ability. And we talked about it after the game Saturday. I felt like DeMarcus and Bryce both were just pressuring themselves too much, living and dying with every single possession. And I wanted them just to get to sit over there on the sideline and relax and watch the game, and then go out there with a clear mind and just go have fun playing basketball. I mean, all these guys have worked extremely hard to get to a place like Murray State and be on scholarship to play Division I basketball. It's an incredible privilege and a blessing for these guys. I want them to enjoy it. And when you're sitting there beating yourself up over every single shot, it makes it hard for you to do your job to the best of your ability. And so credit to both of them. I thought they really handled it well. I thought they looked in the mirror, reflected on some things, and made the changes and went out and delivered fantastic performances. I thought both were really, really good out there, especially at the offensive end of the floor.